today we have Deepa Sayal, who is a serial entrepreneur, a mentor, an incubator. She is a digital transformation specialist. She's also been a startup coach, a tech evangelist with over 20 years of rich experience. And she was also featured in CNBC TV-18 amongst the 32 most impactful women changing the digital world.
Thank you, Swati. Thank you for such a warm introduction. I loved every bit of it. I've had a very humbling journey in terms of building digital products myself for the last 20 years. As I've always mentioned in all my series and my trainings that I've curated and built 4 companies. And the 4th one is I Will India that we are working on. You know, the world is changing, increasingly getting digital. And what we see is in the last 10 years, the companies that were existent are no longer there. I'll give you a small example. For instance, Xerox, Nokia, and many such, stalwarts that are no longer there. So today I'll be talking about not just the hybrid work cultures, I'll be talking about the collaborative world and how the world has evolved in 3 dimensions. But when I talk about how this change is happening, I'd say customer centricity, collaboration, and customization. They are the 3 major roots. While I'm a branding evangelist also, I have worked for 10 years in my industry. Today's presentation is more about how you're going to take the plunge and build a digital product. And once you build a digital product, you would want to ask me questions and throw questions to me as to how would you want to market it across not just India in about 100 plus cities, for instance, but across the geographies like Canada, USA. Step 1, we create a digital product. Step 2, we create the core. Step 3, we navigate and create social media platforms. Step 4, we create the paid campaigns. And step 5, we basically take it off. When I say trust your gut, that means have the confidence and the conviction to work at it. I'm giving you a small example of people who followed, their heart's heart. Look at that, Elon Musk. Well, I don't mean to mislead you. This slide tells you that you need to be building your skill set. Of course, academics are very important, but how deeply rooted are you in your skill sets is also a very important aspect. So you need to be convinced that whenever you grow up or you want to pursue a career or you want to build a trajectory on an entrepreneurship, this is it. You are more important than degree. Your vocational skill set is going to be very, very important. Mr. Mukesh Ambani, very proud. We'd say he's an Indian patron. He's a influencer who has been buying businesses by leaps and bounds. And I'm very proud when I say that his is a company where Facebook, Amazon, and all the biggies in the world like Intel and others have come and invested their stakes in. Now, this is commendable. And this is what I call the power of thinking digitally. Richard Branson. If your dreams don't scare you, they are too small. If you know Richard Branson's story, his mother used to work in a hangar of airplanes. And he fascinated and later bought and built a fleet of aircrafts. Now that is what thinking big is. When we talk about Bill Gates, he's a dropout in 11th, but he always had a knack for technical coding, and see how immensely he has benefited and created this canvas. And I'm sure he's creating jobs by 1,000 lakhs. When you build a digital product, you create value and jobs for thousands. And in the entire sequence, we have this humble and gentleman, his name is Sridhar Vembu. And if any of you recognize it, he's the founder of Zoho. Zoho is a very simple and a very affordable tool for enterprises and corporations and small and medium SMBs to put everything together. Interesting part, this is a multinational Indian company. This gentleman, for all of you who don't know, is Vijay Shekhar Sharma. I'm very, very proud when I look at this person because he almost mortgaged his house, sold his house to put money and seed it as a seed fund for his business, which is very, very interestingly known as Paytm. For the last 10 years, they've done an amazing work in reaching out to every nook and corner of the country. अब सब में वो एक स्पेशल स्ट्रीक है, बस बात है कि उसको ढूंढ निकालने की कि आप स्पेशल कैसे हैं और क्या आपका इंटरेस्ट है. What is your passion if you're wanting to drive this? Now we'll go to the digital matrix. So I passed by 2019. By 2021, 20% of all activities and individual engages will correspond to the top 7 digital giants. I am sitting on an Apple product. I'm on a Google browser. And I am talking to you from here on a WebEx platform. So I'm saying that there are few players who would really rule the roost in the coming decade, in the next 10 years. But here's the question: how do the other MSMEs or SMBs survive? How do the startups survive? India is the software capital of the world, is what I'd like to think. Apart from the fact that economies like Israel are doing extremely well when it comes to patents and research and development. But we Indians are very sharp if we look at our statistics across the world. If you see Bangalore, it is the software capital of India. So I'm sure there are a lot of startups that are sprouted across our nation. All we need to do is polish our skills and market our products in a better way. By 2025, 42% of workers will work with AI. I don't believe that. The reason is the figure is far higher. You have 30 plus applications on your cell phone today, out of which at least 20 you use every day, and you don't even know it. Let's think about it. Netflix gauges your interest on the basis of artificial intelligence, data patterns. Well, that is again artificial intelligence. Call it Snapchat, virtual reality. That is another tool that I say. Facebook uses AI by leaps and bounds. So artificial intelligence is everywhere without you knowing it. By 2022, blockchain-based businesses will be worth 10 billion. That in the next coming years, internet will be replaced by blockchain. The internet will change completely as a new place. And it'll be replaced by something more secure, which we essentially call as blockchain. Take a look at this. Instagram. Take a look at the global digital growth. On an average, what is the size of population? Plus 93 million, plus 316 million, plus 490 million. If you see the social media users, the internet users, and the unique mobile phone users. Of course, you cannot deny the power of digital. It has the power to change prime ministers and president of the country. We saw the US presidential elections like Barack Obama or Donald Trump. Well, whether it had controversy or not, Facebook was really embroiled in a controversy. How do you think that changes? Social media has that pattern to change and engage in a big way. And that is how we say that digital cannot be ignored. India cannot be ignored because we are the largest across the base. We are the largest in terms of our GDP, only fifth, while we are still developing. So the world changes according to us. I've been very lucky. I have built several marketplaces. I have worked on various artificial intelligence products, and I've also built a lot of products that like job-enabled marketplaces, a law firm-enabled marketplace. So many products. The latest one that we have is Tech Supergirl, which builds in, helps incubation as far as startups are concerned, and primarily focused on women startups. So the point is, you need to think innovative and find a solution. Some digital products that I'd like to show you sell online with Shopify. Give you an example. It is a very, very run-of-the-mill application, very simple, but it does save a lot of headache. And you can help build products on Shopify, whether they are e-commerce products or any other product that you want to build. Pagar Book. This is a product, and it's a very simple product. And imagine how many people must be using it, and how many revenues you can inculcate, how much revenue you can bring about if you think through. If you scale downstairs, 50 lakhs registered SMEs, 650 plus districts present in India, and 10 plus languages used across India. That is the power of this product. This is what your productivity suite should look like. Answer 1, option 1. This is what a general digital marketing or a digital user would use applications in a workday. Option 2, this kind of a product can be built based on user patterns and familiarity and solutions. Every 2 years, you need to build a new skill. So, agar aap padh rahe hain abhi, you're a student, I would request you that if you're in the middle of your holidays, you may pick up a course that you may like based on your interest. In the longer run, it'll help you boost your inclination and your identity. If you were to get into the technical arena a little bit, just the peripheries, how would you build a digital product? How would you build it? There are 5 ways to do it. A, identify the problem. Your problem is identifying the problem is the real catch. And then create a solution for it. The third, the market fit. Do you really think your product is scalable? What kind of product do you want to make? Operations, or it can be creativity. Anything that you make has to be better than its competitors. The fourth is growth. accelerating your business. And fifth is enterprise, when you convert your company into an enterprise. The idea is to stay relevant and build your business and launching your startup. Building a prototype. अगर आप मुझसे पूछेंगे कि 6 या 7 चीजें क्या हैं जो मुझे देखनी चाहिए या कॉन्सेप्चुअलाइज करने में जो मेरा बेस क्रिएट करें और करेक्ट करें मुझे फंडामेंटली, तो ये 7 चीजें हैं। एक डोमेन नेम आप होस्ट करेंगे, उस पे आप प्राइस एंड पोजीशनिंग सेट करेंगे अपने प्रोडक्ट की, अपना प्रोडक्ट सेट करेंगे, उसको मार्केट करेंगे और एक्वायर करेंगे कस्टमर. I've also written a book by the name of Digipedia, the guide to digital transformation and the fundamentals of digital marketing. So if you happen to find it, it's available on Amazon. If you want to read it, you can read it. The highest funded startups in India. अगर आप देखेंगे, Swiggy is on the top, followed by Oyo, then Byju's, then Paytm, then Paytm Mall, Zomato, Pine Labs, Policy Bazaar, and some of these. They all started somewhere humble. Look at companies like HP and Intel. They started in a garage. Just see how many people are there in each and every country, every nook and corner. Now, about a few more products and technologies that you see in the next 10 years. So if you see virtual stores, from optimum experience, set your browser zoom at 100%. Look at this. How do we do this? We create things, we look through, do a walk-in through this store, and we happen to buy stuff also, through e-commerce. So that is the beauty of creating something. Facial recognition, robotic process automation. If you see these robots, they're intelligent enough to navigate existing stores and move around customers. Self-driving cars. Now, I always say this when I present, we do not know if India has the highways for the self-driving cars, but we surely know that self-driving cars are very evident and they'll soon be on our roads. 3G virtual dressing room. You don't need to go to a trial room anymore and change. There is this, that in the virtual dressing room, you can change your dress code and you can be yourself. So this is how the technology rules the roost in the coming next decade. Will your skills be automated in the next few years? Absolutely, yes. If you're a coder, you'll phase out in the next 3 years. So what are you prepping? What are you preparing for? That your job in the future is around automation. And we'll have detailed deep dives when it comes to cybersecurity, safety, or mental health, or some of such streams which are not thinkable as of now. आप सोचिए कि अगले आने वाले 10 सालों में what is the job pursuit that you should have to be able to make decent money, not just make money, but also build a value around people. This is my suggestion to all of you who are listening. Transition towards your passion. That is very important. आप जो भी करें, अगर आपका दिल उसमें नहीं है, if you're not fully invested in that, that would mean that you will not pursue it for long. It may be risky, but it must be worth the effort. I told you already, the deal is love what you do and do what you love. The real thing is to build your business. Now, I'm not talking about a typical business-oriented proposition. I'm talking about build something meaningful that has value proposition for your community. Collaborative experiences. Today, we are on WebEx, which is nothing but a collaborative experience. My sharing this PowerPoint and talking to you is such a major change. The pandemic has told us so many new things that we can't even imagine. Process automation. That is another thing that I'd like to tell you about. Process automation is what is going to rule the roost in the coming years, and the products alongside that. Take a look at this gentleman. His name is Ritesh Agarwal, and he is the founder and CEO of Oyo Rooms. He used to go to every startup community gathering, and at the end of about 100 odd such, or 50 or 60 odd such gatherings, he decided he realized he did not have a decent hotel room to put up with, and staying at different hotels was such a nuisance. So he created an aggregator chain, which is cheaper and was built on remnant inventories across the hotels in India. But that is what Ritesh Agarwal did. He found an opportunity in a problem, and now I think he's the youngest one who's been doing so well. At the age of 30, he was already an established businessman. Why be an entrepreneur? Make your own rules, doing work you enjoy, creating greater wealth, helping your community. And why do you want a digital entrepreneur? Why do you want to become one? Because the world gets collaborative and it gets digitally ready very, very soon. Why do we need more entrepreneurs? I'd correct the term. Why do we need digital entrepreneurs? 90% of the world's jobs are created by entrepreneurs. Absolutely. It's a source of new products and innovation that is there. Third, in the third world countries, the entrepreneurs keep the sagging economies live. Of course, our GDP, that's why Nirmala Sethuramanji has given a package in pandemic for these entrepreneurs. It's the entrepreneurs, not the central bank, that keep the economy moving. Forgive me, but that's the truth. So this is the reason you should be a digital entrepreneur. So every time I say the word entrepreneur, I would say building a digital product or solution. Very, very crucial. So tech startups have been the foundation of India's ecosystem. Take a look. 27 tech unicorns active in India. India continues to be the third largest tech startup ecosystem in the world. 18% share of all startups leveraging deep tech and 40% CAGR since 2014. Bangalore ranks among top 3 cities globally for tech startup. Now that is amazing. As I said, we are the software capital. But interesting part, we do have our unicorns churning out, like Byju's. What an interesting application. And I'm very proud of our country, building something like that. But here's something, the downside. 90% of startups fail in the very next year of the inception. That should not demotivate you. That should say that, you build a startup, and sometimes it can tank. You then work on another idea, and then another idea, and another idea, till the time you find your best answer to your solution.
First one being, how can we do marketing for our digital product other than social media?
There are 4 ways to do it. See, apart from social media, we have the biggest and the most powerful medium to do marketing is Google search engine marketing, which is Google paid ads. Most effective, but very powerful for business to business. It is good for business to consumer also, but for business to business, Google paid ads is highly recommended. We also have Bing ads. We have platforms like Taboola. We have platforms like Columbia. We have platforms like InMobi. We have AppNextX. So there are hundreds of platforms to market your products. And then once you're clear about your concept, कि मुझे क्या बेचना है और मेरे ऑडियंस कहाँ है वेब पे और मुझे कैसे मिलेंगे, ये 3 सवाल अगर आपके जवाब मिल जाते हैं, you get the answer, you're ready to shoot.
There are some kids who are interested in knowing what are the things they should be wary of while using these digital marketing tools, since these are minors. Any things that they should keep in mind while exploring this?
I think our government has to still, we as a country have to still progress and build a better wall on cybersecurity. So it's just it's simple that you do not drop your cookies when you go everywhere. There's no need to say allow whenever that pop-up comes, allow permission, because obviously you don't want to leave breadcrumbs and cookies, and you don't want them to know about your journeys, because once they do, then they start targeting the ads and they follow you without your permission. Don't enter your financial details anywhere without getting to check whether it's an encrypted platform or not.
So thanks, Deepa. Thank you so much to you and your team for making this happen and for sharing this information with kids. Thank you once again for your time.
Thank you so much. I loved it too, Swati. Thank you, Naba. Thank you to the entire team and my team also, Nidhi, Ashwar, and everybody who helped me put this together. Thank you so much. Loved it.